In my previous high fidelity wireframe videos, and you actually see how I put together this mock page of this mock brand called Casablanca Florist and Cafe page into a high fidelity wireframe. I actually adapt this and then put it into a layout that we can code using the pure HTML, which I'll show you how to do it using tables and the tag that we just learned without using a single code of CSS. We cannot achieve 100% because there are a lot of limitations in the old HTML, which is why they introduced CSS later, right? But then we can still code almost 80 to 90% similar to what we have here, except maybe the font typeface, exactly the size and stuff. Let me show you how we actually do it. So from this, using pure HTML to do this, construct this page, you can understand how further HTML actually works before we jump into CSS, which actually will help you more. Okay, let's dive in straight away. When you have this high fidelity wireframe, the first thing you got to check is actually the size. Because for low or high fidelity wireframe, it's actually not done in the exact size that it's supposed to be. Especially with all these new responsive website that comes in, the sizes of the image is no longer the pixel perfect size that we used to do. So right now, we need to make sure that it's not too big and not too small. The first thing to check is actually the whole page width. By selecting this, I know that from this Illustrator, this high fidelity wireframe that I have here is 1920 width, which is actually too big. It's actually HD's size width. So I need to cut it down at least by half. Then we can actually further go on and check the H1, which is this feature. This feature, H1 is actually at 60 points. 60 points is way too big. H1 should be maybe around 30 to 36 points. And then we can further check this H2. H2 is 48. 48 is too big, maybe it should be around 24. So from all these text size I check, I can get the cue of roughly how much I should size down. So in this case, even the paragraph text is set at 28 points. So the reading font should be about 14 point to 16 point. So 14 is about just right. So with all this cue, it actually proven to me that I need to cut this sizes down by half first before I start to do anything. So let's select everything, make sure that everything is unlocked. Select everything, drag from the top left to the bottom left, and then simply use the resize. This is the resize scale tool. Okay, by holding on to option key and then click somewhere here. Okay, then I want to bring out this scale. Size it down to 50%, everything. Scale corner, scale everything. So now it actually size it down to 50%. Okay, and then I want to bring this down. And then I want to zoom in and check. Now this is at 960. 960 is okay. Then this font size is at 18 point, which is also okay. The H1 size is at 30, correct. And H2 is at 24 point, which is about right. And reading font is at 14 point. We are safe. Okay, with all this cue in, now we are ready to export the assets out. The next one, we need to look at this and then decide how we want to construct and how we want to put this together. The modern design for a website is always like block by block. UI UX actually had already evolved through many years that before we actually come to this layout, because this is probably the most optimum and the best layout for user, as well as how the technology is. Now we want to code by section. We will code by this one section and then followed by this section and followed by this section and followed by this. There will be 4 sections for this. I'll show you how to do each of them. The first part is we want to code by this section. We got to decide what is in the foreground, what is in the background, and how we want to put this together. Okay, by using tables, okay, I'm safe. I know that the left cell will be this image. The right cell will actually be my navigation. They will be aligned from the top with some spacing. I can easily do that. There's a background, which is actually this. So the background actually not just a pure image, it's actually masked inside this box, and then with this gradient. The gradient, the designer, which is myself, I put in simply because I want to see through the background, but then I still want to be able to read the text and whatever that the logo appear in the foreground. So I darken it slightly, which I want these two things to merge and into an image. So for that, I need to select these two items. and I go to File, Export Selection. This will pop up. Okay, you tell me I want to export this. Simply change to 1x, and it's not a PNG, it should be a JPEG 80 or even 50 should be okay. I'm going to use 80. So it's compression to 80%. I want to save it to my desktop instead of here, and export asset. So it simply export to my desktop. I want to check the file. So that is the export that I get. Pretty good. Okay, I'm happy with it and I'm gonna leave it. So next one I want to export will be this logo. I already grouped together everything. Same thing, go to File, Export, Selection. And it should be a PNG because it's a logo. I want it to be transparent. 1x also, and export to my desktop also instead of my that high fidelity wireframe folder. So export it. It's also inside this folder. And then this is how it is with transparency. That's great. Okay, let's move on and export the rest. So I want to export this. Okay, the rest I can create in HTML, and this and this and this. So let's go export everything. This one, file, export selection, 1x, JPEG, file 9, export, same for this. Export selection, JPEG, my desktop, export, the last one, export, selection, JPEG, export. These three image, export selection, this should be a transparent PNG because I want the circle, but I don't want that square, this one at the edge. So it should be a PNG, export, this, file, export selection, one there, export, and the last one, Instagram, export selection, one there, and export. So I get all my discrete image there, check. Okay, right now this is the folder that I gotten. So this is the main picture, but you notice that actually Illustrator generate the name for me, which is actually not ideal because it doesn't follow the HTML convention, which HTML best practice for file naming. There's space and then there's caps, capital letter, uppercase letter there. So we don't want that. Let's change it to hero image. And then this one is our logo. So logo.png. This is our first image, so picture 1. This is second one, so picture 2. And this is the third one, so picture 3. And then we have this icon Twitter, TW, followed by icon Instagram, IG, and icon underscore Facebook. Let's put FB. Alright, so after we name all this correctly, we are ready to start our HTML. And also, of course, don't forget this folder. It should be the right way to name the folder is images, for images folder. So now we have all the assets and everything. We can switch back and forth for our HTML. Then we'll switch to Dreamweaver first. Okay, and create a new document. Okay, let's call it Casablanca, Florist, and Cafe. Great, and we get this empty HTML with this title. Okay, notice that this n% and n, okay, this is actually for that n% word. So to appear properly. First thing first, save, file, save. And then save it to desktop and then call it homepage. I'm going to put it here so that you can see it. And first thing, now we are ready to start. We want to see how to construct this using this table. As I mentioned just now, it's actually one table cell, 960 width, and then let's check the height. Height is actually 433. So we know height is 433, 960, pick this background picture, hero image, and then this one on the left and this one on the right. Simple, just drop a table with 2 cells. So we go back to Dreamweaver, drop a table, insert table with 2 cells, 1 row and 2 columns. Cell padding 0, cell spacing 0, thickness is 1. So okay. So it generates us this. So we know that, let's drop in the background picture first. Equals to images slash our hero image. I want to save it, and then followed by this is the image, which is the cell on the left. gsrc equals to images slash, that is our folder. So that will be our logo, and close it. And let's save it and see how our thing turned out to be in this preview. So yes, you can see the table here with one cell. The other cell we haven't put in anything, so it's empty. Then is 960 because we already logged 960, but height is not fixed. So let's drop in the height. We know that is 433 from the one we checked just now in Illustrator. Refresh. 433, Casablanca, and nothing here. Okay, let's leave it for now. Later we come back and fix. Now we need to put in the navy. So the navy will start with it's actually a link. href equals to hashtag link to nowhere. Hashtag means link to nowhere. Okay, and then home page. So home page. The next one is about us. So hashtag also. So about us. Let me go back and check. Home, about us, products, events, contact us. So we need to change this to home, about us. Let me just duplicate this. 5 of them. Products, events, contact us. Products, events, and the last one is contact us. Save and refresh in our browser. Now we get our link here. Home, about us, products, event, and contact us. Okay, right now we are ready to fix the layout. First thing first, they should be aligned from the top, both of them, and the right side should be aligned from the right side. We can use the attribute that available. V-align equals to top. And then this one is align equals to left. The right cell, V-align equals to top also. But the alignment for this equals to right side. Save and refresh. Top, top and right. Top and left. So right now we go in and see roughly how much from the top. Okay, and then let's say if we lock this width to about this size, we can actually have this logo aligned at the center. So this one will be about 315 pixel width. Okay, 315 pixel width. Okay, let's go back and lock this. Width equals to 315 pixel. And then alignment, let's put it at center so that it's auto at the center for this logo. And V-align top, so we can actually put in some break, BR and BR. So 2-line break from the top. Save and go back here and refresh. About there. Okay, so let's do this. The one on the right side, the navy. Now it doesn't matter that it's actually from there. Let's drop in from the top, roughly about the line of the Casablanca. Let's say I drop in 4 break first. 4 break. Still a bit higher than this Casablanca, maybe 5 break then. Yep, about the same line. So I'm fine with this. Okay, next thing we want to change the color. For that is color for link is actually inside this body. Inside the body attribute is called link. L-I-N-K equals to the color picker. We don't need color picker. We can actually copy the hashtag colors from Illustrator. So this is the hashtag color. By double click on this, you get this pop up, and this is the hashtag color that we want. Simply highlight and copy this and go back to Dreamweaver and paste it in. That's for the link color. And we also want to change for the visited link, which means that when the link is visited, instead of showing out as purple, it will show out as whatever color that you put. So save this and then go back to the browser and refresh. Now we get this color. The only thing we cannot remove in the old way is the underline for the link. So I'm fine with that, so let's leave it there. Then the next thing is to separate out all this. Okay, that is where the non-breaking space that we learned come in. So n% NBSP. So you're going to drop in like a few so that to force the space out, like 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's roughly see the spacing, about 5, that's fine. So simply highlight this and copy and paste and in all this. So which means that after home, instead of straight away become about us, there's this 5 space in between. Then after about us, 5 space in between before go to products, and all will have this 5 space in between. Save and refresh, and about there. Pretty close. Like I mentioned, you can't get 100%, but almost there. So the last one is to turn off the border for the table. Turn it to 0 so that we don't get this border anymore, but the layout is there. So that's how we do this part. Pretty similar to what we have in the Illustrator. Now you get the idea. Let's go on and build this. So in order to build this, we need to see how many tables, columns that we need. It's very obvious, 3, 1, 2, and 3. But how many rows that we need to do? First row, second row is the picture, third row is the H2, fourth row will be the P tag, and then the fifth row will be the button. 3 columns and 5 rows. Let's go back to Dreamweaver and insert. After this table, you are ready to insert another table. 5 rows with 3 columns, 960, the rest just leave it as it is. Okay, so that's how we get the 5 rows. So now we know the first row is actually the H1, which is at the center. Feature. Okay, let's just copy this color first because we know that we're now gonna come back for this color. Copy and go back to Dreamweaver. Just put in the H1. Features. That's our H1. Save and refresh. Okay, features. Okay, don't worry about the alignment and everything, we can come back and fix. Okay, then of course we want to put in the color first. Font color equals to this color. Okay, make sure that the Russian door is encapsulated outside this H1. And then save and refresh. Color is correct, font is about right. This alignment is center for this cell. One done. Now the rest. Now we know that the rest are all aligned center, so simply just copy and paste. Just put align center for everything. For all the cell, copy and paste, 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 paste and paste and paste. A lot of copy and paste in HTML. So we're done with one. The next row is actually these 3 images. So let's drop in the image. It's at least we know that it's at the correct size, so we don't have to worry too much. So let's go back here and then drop in the image. That's the second row, yeah? Equals to images slash picture 1. Close it. Then I want to copy and paste also, so I don't need to keep typing. Simply change picture 1 to 2 and picture 1 to picture 3 for the third one. 1, 2, and 3. Save and refresh in the browser. 1, 2, and 3. Done. Within seconds. The third one is actually H2. So very similar to H1. Okay, I want to simply copy this and change. Let me drop this so that our formatting is nicer. This is H1 to H2. The font color, let's go back here and change to this color, which is actually this darker sage green. No, darker sage is a blue color, gray blue color that we have. This blue color, copy and go back to this and change. Put in this color. So H2 with this. But what about the text? Oh, head header title for the feature. I'm just gonna change it to features 1 heading, subheading. Alright, that's for one row. Copy everything, replace the second and third row. Paste and paste. So that's feature 2 subheading and feature 3 subheading. Save and then go back and refresh. So I get feature 1 subheading, feature 2 subheading, and feature 3 subheading. Okay, let's fix the spelling here. Okay, go back here and they are actually italics. Alright, let's make it italic by changing this inside H2. Let's put it I for italic. Okay, I'm simply gonna paste here and paste here. Copy this, paste and paste. So to fix all of them. Okay, but they are bold. I have no choice because I'm using H2. So that's fine with me. Like I mentioned, you can't have 100% for this. So let's go to this, and this should be font color as well, which is this color, we know. So we copy this and then drop it here first. And then we have to close the font first. Okay, that's fine with me. Inside there is actually just text. So it's a normal paragraph text. And it's actually area. So let's copy that and then put it as area. So font color is this. Font face is area. Save and let's refresh and see. Yep, it turns out area, and this font size by default. So let's copy this whole chunk, TD, and replace with this because they're actually the same. Done for 4 rows so far. Now the last one is button. Alright, button is a bit more tricky. Okay, I'm gonna show you first and then tell you how to fix it. Alright, button is actually, there's a HTML code for button, which is actually input. Okay, type it is button. And value is actually, we have read more and ... Close it. So you see what happened when I save this, refresh, the button is actually very small because this is the default HTML button. So we actually don't want that. So what about our look? Okay, this look is actually can only achieve in using CSS. You can't achieve this using the old HTML. So what we'll do is we'll simply just gonna export it as an image. So let's select this and then go to File, Export Selection and save it to desktop as an image. PNG is PNG. Make sure it's PNG because we need the edge to be transparent. Okay, export that. Then after that, this is the file. I'm simply gonna rename it. Okay, button. Dump it inside images so that I can call it. So instead of using this, I don't want this anymore. I simply gonna use a link to nowhere, close it, and use an image instead of text. Source equals to images/button. Remember to close the HTML tag with the right angle bracket. Save and then preview. Yeah, that's how we want it to be. And then let's finish it by copy and paste. Copy and paste on the second one, paste on the third one. That's how we get. Last one is actually this, the background color for the table. Let's don't forget to drop it in. We'll use BG color for this. Copy. Go back here. Where's our table now? Our table is on top. Go make sure you put in the right table, yeah? BG color. Paste. And refresh our browser. So our browser with this. and then just turn off the border to see how it looks like. Okay, pretty close except some alignment, except this is too close. Okay, the button is too close, we can fix that. Okay, the button we can actually use this thing called V space. There's an attribute for image. Okay, inside image tag space, use this thing called V space, which stands for vertical space. Okay, when you put this in, you actually space out the top and the bottom with the pixel number that you put. I'm going to put 20, save and refresh. So you push the pixel number 20 out. Okay, that's about it. That's about how we want to solve it. Let's say I want the bottom to be a bit more space. I have to actually put in a break. Okay, after this, before the cell. Save this, put into break. This will actually put in 2 break, not enough. Let's put in 3 break. Okay, so about this size. So I need to simply copy this and make sure that I put in all behind all the A tag. Let me format this properly so that we can see clearer. Okay, let's drop this in, V space here and V space here. Okay, so we are done with this second section. The third section is actually a bit simpler. Okay, let's make some space first. It's actually just a text, okay, at the center and with this box, sage color box, but you notice that the top and bottom spacing is a bit different from the left and right. Okay, there are a few ways to fix this, but the easiest way I find is actually again to use table. One is to 3 cell, 1 cell on the left and 1 cell on the right with empty words inside. We simply can push the width so that it actually push and then squeeze out the center part for the variable text. Okay, let me show you how to do it. I'm just going to copy this chunk of text first. Copy and then go back to Dreamweaver. Here I'm going to drop in a table. We know that 3 columns, 1 row. 3 columns, 1 row, everything 1. Okay, this will be the spacer, and this will be where my text is. So I'm going to drop in the font color, Later we'll come back and pick the color. And I'm just going to drop in the text first. Okay, it should be a P tag, paragraph tag, P. So make sure that I have this in the center of the P tag. Let's go back to the color, which is this color. Hashtag and paste. Let's see how it looks like first. Save and refresh. Now I get this one table with this text color correct, but the background color we haven't set, the left and right we haven't set, and we need this to be align center. So which means that this should be align center. Okay, align center. Now is to put in the background color, the sage green. So we need to pick the sage green color. This, double click, copy, go back to Dreamweaver and drop in BG color, sage green, paste and refresh. Alright, that's good. Let's push this thing in by using width equals to 100 on the left and then maybe 100 on the right. So I just copy this and paste on the right side. Like not enough, maybe 200. Okay, seems about there. But the top and bottom part simply is quite squishy. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to use this cell padding instead. So just drop in 30 pixel. So the 30 from the top and bottom. So now because cell padding is actually for every single cell, so it also include the one on the left and right. So right now because I add in 30 here, maybe I have to decrease this 200 to something else. Let me simply fix this first so that I can actually get the correct up and down first. Then now I go back and fix this. Maybe 150 will do, left and right. Yep, it's about there. Let's turn off the border. change this to 0. So it looks about right. Finally, we come to the footer. Footer is easy, 1 on the left and 3 buttons on the right. So 2 cells, text on the left, 3 social media icon on the right side with this background. So let's copy this background color first. Double click and copy this. Then we'll go back here and drop 2 cells. Drop a table with 2 cells, 1 row. Insert table, 1 row and 2 columns. Okay, this will be the copyright text. And let's drop in the color first. Color, BG color. Hashtag and this, the color that we just picked. The copyright statement. Simply gonna put in copyright. Okay, 2021. Okay, with that copyright, we need to put in this and copy. Okay, which will give us this symbol. This. That's how you create that words. And then the company name is, of course, Casablanca. Florist. Cafe and cafe. Ampersand also AMP, which will give us this and cafe private limited. Okay, and then the right side is actually the 3 image. So space, enter. Let's make some space here, and it should be a link. So I'm gonna use a href equals to link to nowhere hashtag close. img src is equals to images slash Facebook. Okay, I do some mistake here. Notice that this thing generated, yep, special character must be escape. So I have this open, but I forgot to close. So always remember that you need to close with an anchor bracket. Okay, when you see something red highlighted, it means that there's some issue with it. First, second, and third. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, IG. Remove this, save, and then come back to browser and refresh. So I get this, okay, on the left, and then this on the right. Okay, we can manipulate, do some simple one like cell padding, maybe equals to 20. Okay, too big, yeah, 10 should do. Okay, this one should be white and it should be area. So let's do this. Font color is actually, you can put in white. Okay, you just simply take that and face equals to area. So since it's a sans serif, bring this down and close this. Okay, we fix this. Now is this. Alright, it should be aligned right for the right side. So align equals to right. Now, of course, the spacing is wrong. So again, we'll use this ampersand non-breaking space and BSP. And let's put in maybe 3 space first in between them. Alright, let's turn off the border. Okay, this is our page that is done. So we have this, this, and this. This one a bit too big. Maybe you should actually size down. So size equals to 2. 2 should work. Yep, 2 should work. Okay, that's how we actually build website with the old way. Of course, you notice that the website is actually aligned left. Yeah, we can actually put in a center tag for the big, on the big one, just after your body tag. Just throw in a center. Okay, make sure that you bring this close center all the way to the end just before you close your body tag. After the last table. Close it so that everything will align at the center. And maybe the background color, we should drop in something close to this theme. Yeah, maybe I'll pick some color here first. Yeah, maybe this will do. Copy this color and then drop it into the Dreamweaver inside body. Okay, this body. BG color equals to hashtag this. Then we'll have a light pinkish color which goes together with this theme, the Casablanca theme. So that's how we actually put together a website. It's functional. Yeah, it actually works for a good more than 10 years for how HTML was before the CSS come in. So this is how you put together a HTML page by using simple HTML without the touching of a single code of CSS. So if you like my video, please click like and subscribe to Uncle Teach You channel. Your support is actually my main motivation to do all these videos. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.